presenter this evening is Tony Thompson. Tony is an Iowa native who decided he needed a little more international exposure and found that going to Sweden to get a Ph.D. in mechanical engineering with a focus on sustainable product innovation was a good way to do that. He's recently moved back to Central Iowa to be closer to family and the family farm while continuing to work to support bringing sustainability and value aspects into product development working environments. Please welcome Tony.
That was a good introduction, so I can start, right? So I spent the last 7 years in Sweden, not Switzerland. Sweden is known for its blue and its gold, and a lot of hockey. Occasionally some football, or as we know it, soccer, of course. And then meatballs that I used to think were made of pork, and then found out are beef, and found out recently there's a little bit of horse meat. I lived in the very south of Sweden, and there's a lot of water there. But living in the south of Sweden, I was actually closer to Milan in Italy than I was to Luleå in the north of Sweden. So that's how long Sweden is. This is my town for the last 6 years, Karlskrona. Karlskrona is the former naval headquarters of Sweden. And in the 1980s, they had a very interesting experience known as Whiskey on the Rocks. Only partially because there was a Soviet whiskey-class submarine that got stuck in the archipelago. The Swedes like daylight in the summertime because they have 20 or 22 hours of daylight in the summer. And conversely, nighttime, the days are very, wintertime, the days are very short, maybe 4 or 6 hours. So if you find Swedes in the summertime, they'll be out in their summer cottages enjoying the outside. Day length, extremes, but everything in Sweden is lagom. It's just the right amount. It's not too much, it's not too little. The one exception are ice cream cones. On those long 22-hour summer Swedish days, you'll see little old ladies coming out of the ice cream shop with ice cream cones literally the size of their heads. This is an example of the people that I spent each of the last years getting to know. So here are 50 international master's students in a program called Strategic Leadership Towards Sustainability. I've had the honor of getting to meet many, many people from many, many different countries over the last 6 or 7 years. One of those people is actually U.S. Ambassador Matthew Barzum. And because of his visit to Sweden, I learned how to properly hang the American flag and hang it vertically. I didn't know that before I had to hang the flag myself. Stars, I see in the upper left-hand corner. So meeting all these people, another event that we had was the World Student Environmental Summit. The lesson that I learned here was the power of inviting people to something meaningful. So we invited Naomi as a volunteer to cook meals for 100 people for 5 days. Turned out wonderful. Not everything was serious. Sometimes we had fun. So this is the program team that I worked with for the last 7 years and our annual custom of Halloween costumes, group Halloween costumes. So Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, Addams Family, and The Simpsons. I'm in there somewhere, you have to look for me sometimes. One of my favorite adventures was actually floating down an old logging river. So this company took us out, dropped us off with a pile of logs and a pile of rope, and we built our own raft and floated down for 3 days. Everything was good except for when the Swedish Air Force, aka very large mosquitoes, visited us. I mentioned the MSLS program that I was part of, but I also had the chance to start a program called the Masters in Sustainable Product Innovation. We call them MSPIs. So yet another group of people very special to me from the last few years. Part of my teaching duties were teaching a course called Engineering for a Sustainable Society. We actually use this presentation format in that course, so I'm a little bit familiar with it, and even though I haven't done it myself, I pushed other people to. But in this course, there are 2 things, product development and energy systems. And so speaking of energy systems, here you see the annual flow of energy from the sun that comes every year, compared to stocks of fossil-based energies that when we use them up, they're gone. So my research work was about taking this kind of big picture thinking and applying it into the product development process. And And so as an example, the light bulb, the symbol of innovation for the last almost 100 years, it's changing in terms of how we develop light bulbs, right, from a product development perspective. So as we change how we do that, we can take it another step further. Instead of having business models based on selling light bulbs, producing and selling light bulbs, we can start to think about selling the function of light. And that gets very interesting from a business perspective because it allows us to decouple revenue from environmental impact. That's as much research as I'll talk about tonight. These were my stand-ins for my academic advisors. So when I was planning for my Ph.D. defense in December, creativity animals came in, and I would, anticipate what kinds of questions they would ask, and it was quite effective, actually. Any presentation about Sweden needs to have these things. I think it's a Swedish law, actually. Except, much to my dismay, I learned that the Swedish bikini team doesn't really exist.
So, what a shame.
The last lesson from Sweden is Jante's law. And Jante's law is that the tallest dandelion will get its head chopped off. Very much part of Swedish culture. Everybody should be the same. Nobody is above anybody else. Everybody is roughly equal. So that's very much embedded in Swedish culture. And finally, a place that builds an ice hotel every year and then lets it melt and then rebuilds it the next year in different form and format. It's just a great place to visit. I didn't sleep there. I think it's too cold. So I'll just wrap up and say thanks for allowing me to share some of my different lessons.